Deep within every person lies a hidden side, an unseen force shaping their thoughts, actions, and interactions. This shadow self isn't an enemy to conquer, but a misunderstood part of you, a vast reservoir of untapped potential, creativity, and raw energy. Carl Jung believed the shadow is where we store the traits, desires, and fears we've denied or rejected, often because we've been conditioned to think they're unacceptable. But what if the parts of ourselves we suppress hold the key to becoming the person we've always wanted to be? Shadow work begins with courage, the courage to face yourself without judgment or fear. It's not about uncovering flaws, but rediscovering the depth and complexity of your true nature. Most people are afraid to look inward because they fear what they might find. But Jung teaches us that the things we hide from are often the very things that can set us free. By shining a light on the shadow, you don't just confront your fears, you reclaim your power. The shadow doesn't hide in the obvious places. It lingers in the subtleties of daily life. It's in the moment you feel jealousy over someone else's success, the anger you can't explain, or the admiration that borders on obsession. These emotions aren't random, they're clues. Your shadow reveals itself in the qualities you notice most in others because deep down, they're reflections of what you deny in yourself. Understanding this is the first step toward transforming your shadow from a burden into a source of strength. To truly understand your shadow, you must develop self-awareness. Start by paying attention to the moments that trigger strong emotional reactions. Instead of dismissing or suppressing these feelings, examine them. Ask yourself, why does this make me feel this way? What part of me is being reflected in this situation? Shadow work requires honesty, not just with others, but with yourself. It's about peeling back the layers of conditioning and discovering the raw, unfiltered truth of who you are. The journey of integrating your shadow is not about eliminating it, but befriending it. Your shadow is not inherently bad, it's just misunderstood. For example, the anger you suppress might actually be a call to set better boundaries. The jealousy you feel could point to aspirations you've been too afraid to pursue. The shadow holds all the parts of you that have been left behind, waiting to be reintegrated into your life. When you embrace these parts, you become whole. Carl Jung believed that the shadow isn't just an individual phenomenon, but a collective one. Just as individuals have shadows, societies and cultures do too. These collective shadows shape our beliefs, values, and the way we perceive the world. By understanding your personal shadow, you also gain insight into the larger forces at play in the world around you. This awareness allows you to navigate life with greater clarity and purpose, free from the influence of unconscious biases. One of the most liberating aspects of shadow work is realizing that your shadow isn't your enemy. It's your guide. It shows you where you're stuck, what you need to heal, and where your greatest potential lies. But this journey isn't easy. It requires patience, self-compassion, and a willingness to step into discomfort. The rewards, however, are profound. By integrating your shadow, you free yourself from the limitations of your ego and step into the fullness of your being. Jung often spoke about the relationship between the shadow and the unconscious mind. The unconscious is vast and mysterious, holding all the memories, desires, and fears that shape your conscious experience. The shadow is the gateway to this hidden realm. By exploring it, you not only learn about yourself, but also connect with the deeper currents of life. This connection brings a sense of meaning and purpose that transcends the superficial goals of the ego. Shadow work also has a transformative impact on relationships. When you understand your own shadow, you become less reactive and more empathetic toward others. You begin to see how their behavior might be influenced by their own shadows, and this understanding fosters deeper connections. Instead of projecting your insecurities onto others, You take responsibility for your feelings, creating healthier and more authentic relationships. The ultimate goal of shadow work is integration, the process of bringing the unconscious into consciousness. This doesn't mean you'll never feel anger, fear, or jealousy again. It means you'll understand these emotions and respond to them with wisdom rather than being controlled by them. Integration is about becoming a whole person, embracing both light and dark, and finding balance within yourself. It's a journey of self-discovery that leads to freedom, authenticity, and a deeper connection to life. The shadow self often whispers through the patterns you don't notice in your daily life. It's in the repeated mistakes, the fears you avoid, and the conflicts that seem to follow you wherever you go. These patterns aren't random, they're signposts from your shadow, urging you to pay attention. When you recognize these patterns, you unlock the ability to break free from cycles of frustration and self-sabotage. Shadow work transforms these recurring challenges into opportunities for growth and empowerment. One of the most profound aspects of shadow work is realizing that the parts of yourself you reject are often the parts you secretly admire in others. Think about someone you look up to. Is it their confidence, their creativity, or their authenticity that draws you to them? These qualities often represent aspects of your shadow that are waiting to be expressed. By acknowledging and integrating these traits, you can unlock a fuller version of yourself. The shadow doesn't just hold the traits you've been taught to hide, it also holds your untapped potential. Within the shadow lies creativity you've been too afraid to explore, ideas you've dismissed as impractical, and dreams you've told yourself are impossible. Shadow work is about reclaiming this lost potential and using it to create a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. It's not about changing who you are, but becoming more of who you've always been. Jung believed that synchronicity, meaningful coincidences, often points to aspects of the shadow. These moments act as mirrors, reflecting back what you need to see but might be avoiding. For example, a conversation with a stranger might bring up a topic you've been avoiding, or a book you stumble upon might contain exactly the message you need to hear. By paying attention to these signs, you can uncover hidden aspects of your shadow and integrate them into your conscious awareness. The shadow also has a significant impact on your self-perception. It's the voice that tells you you're not good enough, the doubt that creeps in when you're about to take a risk, or the fear that keeps you stuck in your comfort zone. These are not truths, they're stories created by the shadow. Shadow work allows you to rewrite these stories, replacing them with narratives that reflect your true potential and worth. Shadow work isn't just an individual journey, it's a collective one. The shadow influences the way societies function, shaping cultural norms, prejudices, and power dynamics. By understanding your personal shadow, you contribute to the healing of the collective shadow. This ripple effect can lead to greater compassion, understanding, and unity in the world. Shadow work, therefore, isn't just about personal growth, it's about creating a better world. The journey of shadow work is also deeply spiritual. Many spiritual traditions speak of the importance of embracing both light and dark to achieve wholeness. The shadow represents the aspects of yourself that you've disconnected from, and by integrating them, you reconnect with your essence. This process brings a sense of peace and fulfillment that goes beyond temporary happiness, grounding you in the deeper truths of existence. One of the challenges of shadow work is the resistance it brings up. The ego, which thrives on control and certainty, often resists the process of confronting the shadow. It tells you it's too hard, too painful, or unnecessary. But this resistance is part of the journey. By leaning into the discomfort and moving through it, you develop resilience and inner strength. Shadow work teaches you that growth often comes from the very things you fear most. The shadow also affects your goals and ambitions. Sometimes, the reason you feel stuck or unmotivated is because you're pursuing goals that don't align with your true self. These goals might be based on societal expectations, family pressures, or the need for external validation. Shadow work helps you uncover what truly matters to you, allowing you to set goals that align with your values and passions. Finally, shadow work reveals the interconnectedness of all aspects of life. The emotions you suppress, the traits you deny, and the fears you avoid are not isolated. They're part of a larger web that connects your thoughts, actions, and experiences. By integrating your shadow, you don't just transform yourself, you transform your relationships, your perspective, and your entire approach to life. Shadow work is not just a practice, it's a journey of becoming whole. The shadow is often most visible in your closest relationships. These are the mirrors that reflect back the parts of yourself you've buried or ignored. When someone irritates you or pushes your buttons, it's not always about them. It's often about you. This discomfort arises because they're triggering something in your shadow, bringing it to the surface. By observing your reactions and asking, "What is this person showing me about myself?" you can uncover hidden emotions, unhealed wounds, or suppressed desires. Shadow work through relationships isn't about blaming others. It's about using these moments to grow and heal. The shadow is also connected to your creativity. Often the very ideas you reject or the paths you don't pursue are rooted in your shadow. Maybe you've dismissed your artistic side as impractical or ignored your curiosity about a new field because it feels out of reach. But your shadow holds the creative spark you've buried. When you embrace this, you unlock an incredible source of innovation and originality. By exploring your shadow, you give yourself permission to create without fear of judgment, tapping into a wellspring of ideas and possibilities you never knew you had. Dreams are one of the most profound ways the shadow communicates with us. In your dreams, the unconscious mind reveals what you're suppressing in waking life. These symbols, scenarios, and characters often represent aspects of your shadow self. For example, recurring dreams about being chased might reflect fears or anxieties you're avoiding. Paying attention to these dreams and interpreting their symbols can give you insights into your shadow, helping you address unresolved issues or emotions. Jung believed that dreams are the language of the unconscious, and by learning to listen, you can bridge the gap between your conscious and shadow selves. Your body is another gateway to understanding the shadow. Unexplained physical tension, chronic stress, or even persistent illnesses can be signs that your shadow is trying to communicate. For example, suppressed anger might manifest as tightness in the chest, or unacknowledged sadness could show up as fatigue. Shadow work isn't just mental, it's physical. By tuning into your body and noticing where you feel discomfort or resistance, you can uncover the emotions and experiences stored there. Practices like somatic awareness, breath work, or even movement can help release these stored emotions, creating space for healing and integration. The shadow also impacts how you experience success and failure. If you've ever felt like you're sabotaging your own progress or holding yourself back, it's often your shadow at play. This part of you might be afraid of success because it challenges your identity, or fear failure because it reinforces feelings of inadequacy. Shadow work helps you uncover these subconscious beliefs and reframe them. By addressing the fears tied to success and failure, you can move forward with clarity and confidence, no longer trapped by the hidden limitations of your shadow. Thank you for watching. Embracing your shadow is a powerful step toward understanding yourself fully. If this video connected with you, share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. And as always, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.